Yeah, of course. Obviously that's definitely not the result we wanted, not the result we planned for. But plenty of positives to take from both performances. And yeah, we're going to get a chance to have revenge on them, a little bit later in the year when they come back for the World Cup qualifier. So that's the plan.
Bittersweet for you, obviously, the joy of getting an international debut and second appearance, but then the overall disappointment.
Yeah, of course. It's been an incredible week for myself. I couldn't have enjoyed it more, to be honest. It's been absolutely brilliant. The lads have made me feel so welcome and feel so at home. So that's been wicked. Obviously, would have been nice to have sort of topped it off with the result tonight, but that wasn't to be. And like I said, there'll be plenty of lessons learned tonight. So
Scotland can give quite a few highs and lows. You might learn that over time. Has it been tough to sort of handle the disappointment from tonight? You hear the fans at the end and so on.
Yeah, rightly so. We weren't great. We obviously lost a game that we worked so hard to put ourselves in a position where we felt like we had a real chance to go and win the tie. So obviously to then go and lose the game like that was disappointing, and the right to voice that. So all we can do is improve and sort of look at the positives and look at the negatives next time we're back together. And yeah, hopefully I'm part of that.
What were the lessons you learned tonight?
Can't be sloppy. I think we sort of know ourselves as a team. The gaffer's been big on it here. Yeah, it's good. We know we've got good players on the ball, and we can keep the ball, we can pass, we can do all of that. But we're sort of not half the team that we want to be if we don't do the off the ball stuff. The running, the working hard, and that's as big a part, if not bigger, than the on the ball stuff. So that's definitely one thing we learned. Cause I think the boss said after the game that maybe we're a little bit lapsed on that, especially in the first half. And so yeah, like I said, that's a lesson learned. It's sort of back down to earth moment, and we'll be ready to go again.
How much improvement is needed as we head into these World Cup qualifiers at the end of the month, end of the year?
We just need to improve. Of course, if we'd have won 3-0 tonight, I'd probably still be stood here saying we need to improve, because they're going to be big games and they're going to improve. We're going to have to improve, and that's just the tale of how it goes. So I don't think it's something that we need to really beat ourselves up about. Obviously, there's lessons to be learned, and I'm sure we'll improve going forward.
George, you spoke a little bit about revenge there. Does it help you know what you're facing going in to face them again?
Yeah, I mean they're obviously in the same boat. They might look at it and go, sort of underestimate us next time. Which if they do, then sort of fair play to them, and we'll be ready for that. So yeah, for us it's just about going out there and obviously we didn't get the result tonight. But like I say, we're fortunate enough that we've got the chance to go and rectify that in a few months.
You've been on the park both times. This just made you hungry to stay in the Scotland squad and get in more in years to come. Yeah,
without a doubt. Like I say, I couldn't have enjoyed this week anymore. Bar the result tonight, it's been absolutely awesome to be a part of it and to see how it works, and to obviously make my Scotland debut. It's been absolutely massive. So just really delighted to be here and sort of hope that I can do enough at my club going forward to sort of cement myself in the squad.
And you mentioned fans obviously feeling disappointed at the end of the match. What is your message for them ahead of these qualifiers later in the year?
Just stick with us. I've heard from a lot of the boys. It's a fan base that that they're honest, that they're hard working, and we need to be that ourselves. I don't know if we work quite that tonight, and we get booed, and rightly so. So it's one of those things. It's something for us to look at ourselves. The boys are just as disappointed, if not more so, in there as I'm sure the whole stadium was. So it's something, like I said, that we've really got to sort of look at ourselves first and foremost, work on what we can work on, take the positives out of it, because there was plenty of positives. Obviously, it's hard to. They can sometimes get missed when you sort of lose the game that way, but there was plenty of positives that we can build on, and like I said, plenty of things for us to work on.